Hey, cheers.
Cheers. We've got lots of fun heading your way on Studio 10 at 10. Of course, Jen has a look at our weather forecast for today and the holiday weekend ahead. There she is. And then we've got some food, too.
Great day to drink a bunch of alcohol today.
At Dallas Love Field, Casey Stiegel, Fox 4 News.
There's still more to come on Studio 10, but first let's check in with Ashlyn for a preview of Fox 10 Midday. Ashlyn?
Yeah, good morning, Joe. There's a lot that we're following at 11 today. First, as we approach Memorial Day weekend, thousands are flocking to Gulf Coast beaches already, both seasoned beachgoers and, of course, first-time tourists. Our Stephen Moody is helping us brush up on our beach safety skills with tips that could save your life. We'll have that story coming up. Also, Vanessa is turning up the heat on her creativity by taking a glass blowing class. We'll show you her unique creations straight ahead. And as always, Jennifer is tracking your holiday weekend forecast. We'll have everything you can expect, as well as our latest local and national headlines coming up at 11. Guys.
Keeping a close eye on your forecast, and things across the southeast a little active just offshore, but calm and quiet closer towards home. But how is the Memorial Day weekend shaping up? I'll be breaking down all your forecast details coming up.
Plus, a suspect is in custody after a deadly shooting at a Jewish museum in the nation's capital. We have the latest on the investigation straight ahead.
Weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Fox 10 Midday. Happy Thursday, or as we like to say, happy Friday Eve. I'm Ashlyn Mitchell.
And I'm Jennifer Lambert.
Thanks so much for joining us this morning, Jen. It's an exciting day for students across our area with the last day of school and for teachers.
Yep.
How's today shaping up for the first day of summer break?
The good news is that today is looking absolutely stunning. Whether they're starting off their summer break today or tomorrow, it's going to be absolutely beautiful out there with plenty of sunshine, but just still some warm temperatures out there despite some of that lower humidity. Let's go ahead and track what I'm looking at across the southeast, and really there's plenty of sunshine out there. We started to see some of those isolated showers in northern Mississippi and Alabama earlier this morning. You still start to see a lot of green just offshore over the Gulf waters, but that's not going to be impacting us. Things are going to be calm and quiet out there, really looking beautiful. A little bit of clouds out there. You start to see that green. That's just going to be some clutter on the radar work. Beautiful and sunny, taking a live view outside from our Navigator Credit Union camera at the Battleship. Those winds, they're calm now, so we are starting to notice some of those nice conditions. Sunny skies out there, temperatures resting in the lower 80s, but look at those dew points. Upper 50s. That is some dry air in place courtesy of those northeasterly winds. So the feels like temperatures right on the dot. Now, temperatures all across the Gulf Coast currently just seeing really those mid to upper 80s. A few of those upper 80s right along the Florida panhandle. Everywhere else just starting to stay calm and quiet. More of that dry air is beginning to spread out. Earlier this morning, we were noticing a lot of that dry air was just closer towards the eastern side of Mobile Bay. Now, everywhere is starting to get a taste of that. So our dew point comfort scale, we're mainly in that pleasant category if you were seeing your area in the upper 50s, or in that noticeable category. So much more drier heat. If you spend time outside and you really spend the majority of it in the shade, it's going to be really nice for today. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be short-lived, something we're anticipating. And it's almost looking like it might creep in some of that humidity a little bit earlier than what I was hoping for. Starting to see some of those heat indices. It feels like temperatures ticking up to the mid-90s by the time we get closer towards Saturday. But it's still going to be stunning and beautiful for the holiday weekend. I'm going to talk more about your forecast and what I'm tracking over the next few days. That's coming up in just a little bit. Ashlyn.
All right. In the meantime, a Miami woman who admitted to running over her boyfriend on Interstate 10 is going to prison for 20 years. That's the maximum sentence for manslaughter. The incident happened back in March of 2022. Johanna Suarez and Henry Hernandez were driving from Florida to California and took a break in Mississippi to sleep in their car. When they woke up, it was still dark, and Suarez accidentally got into the eastbound lane of I-10. An argument ensued and Hernandez got out of the car. Suarez then turned around, headed in the wrong direction, and struck Hernandez at more than 70 miles an hour. She said it was dark and foggy and that she didn't mean to kill him. Hernandez's ex-wife, Laura Lezcano, delivered an emotional statement in court about the impact on her family.
He was the father of 3 children that were left without a father. You know, he was very involved in their lives, and they miss him, and their world has been shattered without their father.
Suarez also faces a robbery charge in California. Her attorney says that's related to a shoplifting gone bad. Well, meanwhile, in national news, a suspect is in custody after a deadly shooting out of the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. Right now, we're learning more about what he did after those shots were fired. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor shows us what happened. In the meantime, multiple homes and vehicles catch fire after a small plane crashes in a neighborhood in San Diego. The plane crashed just before 4 a.m. Thursday in the Murphy Canyon neighborhood, which is a military housing area. At least 14 homes were affected. Now, a neighbor talked with a family who lives in one of those homes.
I spoke to the people, and they're okay. They literally just left their cars, left everything, and just booked it.
Really? So the house is okay? The people living
the
in the
people
house?
living in the house is okay. I haven't seen what was on the street yet, but as we're driving, we're literally hearing all the booms from the explosions of the cars as we're running.
Wow, scary moments there. Thankfully, no one on the ground was killed. The plane was a private plane registered in the Midwest. There's no word on what caused it to crash or how many people were on board. The FAA and the NTSB are investigating now. Well, new on Midday, House Republicans are taking a victory lap after coming together to pass the president's big, beautiful bill, despite several GOP holdouts. Fox News correspondent Griff Jenkins has more from Washington. Well, coming up on Fox 10 Midday, flooding continues to ravage parts of Australia. Plus, the head of St. Louis City Emergency Management placed on leave after residents were not alerted about a tornado. Those details coming up, but first, Jen, no tornadoes in sight here. It is a gorgeous day.
That is exactly right, Ashlyn. It is stunning out there. And so we're taking a live view outside down on Dauphin Island. Just starting to see some very light breeze out there. Still some sunshine. Was noticing a few folks getting out there and enjoying the Sea Lab not too long ago. But over the next couple of hours, temperatures are going to continue in the lower 80s, introducing a little more sunshine later on today. But I'm going to be breaking down your full holiday weekend forecast coming up when we come back.
Welcome back in. Record flooding has killed at least 3 people along Australia's east coast. The area of New South Wales, north of Sydney, has been hit with heavy rain since Tuesday. More severe weather is in the forecast. The flooding has exceeded local flood records set in 1921 and 1929. Crews rescuing more than 500 people, and at least 1 person remains missing. The New South Wales Premier has warned some 50,000 people to prepare to evacuate or risk being isolated by floodwaters. Also this morning, the head of St. Louis City Emergency Management has been placed on administrative leave. This comes just days after it was revealed the storm sirens never sounded Friday because the button to activate the system was never pushed. Holden Kerwicki reports.
As an EF3 tornado tore across St. Louis Friday afternoon, people like Danny Eckenhorst and Maya Grimes say they had no clue what was happening.
There was not a siren that tipped anybody off.
There was no indication, no sirens went off or anything, just, the text message on the text alert on our phones.
According to Mayor Kara Spencer, there's a good explanation for why they never heard the sirens.
There was a failure to sound the tornado alarms.
In fact, at the time the storm hit St. Louis, members of City Emergency Management were a half-mile away from their office at a training.
We knew there was weather coming. We should have been at the button. Okay? And I don't know why that decision was made.
Though recently released audio shows SEMA Commissioner Sarah Russell called dispatch to report a storm warning.
You got the tornado warning. I think that it said it goes till 2:35. You got the sirens? Yes, ma'am. All right, thank you so much.
Mayor Spencer placed Russell on administrative leave pending an internal investigation into what went wrong.
We cannot move forward without providing accountability, ensuring that we have a robust emergency management system in place to provide confidence in the system that we have.
In the meantime, the fire department has been placed in charge of the storm siren system.
I have confidence that we have, that our fire department is going to issue the alarm should we need it.
However, during a test Wednesday afternoon, it became clear that not all the sirens even work.
We have systemic failure across so many systems here. And we have a robust team that is unified in fixing this.
Today, the National Memorial Day concert returns to the West Lawn of the U.S. Capitol for its 36th year. Longtime co-host Joe Mantegna and Gold Star wife Krista Simpson Anderson reflect on how this special celebration, filled with powerful performances and emotional tributes, honors the true cost of freedom. This year's concert will air on PBS on Sunday, but first, here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin. I'm sure it will be an incredible and beautiful tribute, but still ahead, discount flights in Europe are taking off. That story and much more in your business headlines, plus the
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
The time is 11:31 now. We have updates from retail giants. Canadian banks brace for trade uncertainty, and discount flights in Europe, they're taking off. Fox's CJ Papa has a look at your top Thursday business headlines.
Big box retailers in focus. BJ says it's standing by its forecast for the year, saying membership and traffic in stores went up in the recent quarter. Online sales rose 35%. Walmart is planning to cut 1,500 corporate jobs. The Wall Street Journal reports the company is restructuring in the U.S. to cut expenses and speed up decision making. A Walmart spokeswoman says the layoffs are not related to tariffs. Canada-based TD Bank reporting a weaker profit for the recent quarter. Its full name, Toronto Dominion. The bank cites trade uncertainty, which is expected to result in higher credit losses and weaker loan growth as sentiment takes a hit from the changing outlook. Running an exercise app, Strava has lined up funding of $2.2 billion and now reports 150 million registered users worldwide who record and share activities with friends across dozens of sports. And if you like discount travel in Europe, you'll have plenty of company this summer. London-based discount airline EasyJet says it's seeing strong travel demand for coming months. It was facing higher costs in the recent quarter, but is predicting earnings will grow and a record summer. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Memorial Day is right around the corner, and the Alabama Law Enforcement Agency is kicking off its Summer of Safety campaign. Aaliyah encourages all drivers to inspect their vehicles before going on a trip. Also, always wear your seatbelt and put away distractions, especially like cell phones. According to AAA, between Memorial Day and Labor Day, teenage drivers are much more likely to be involved in deadly crashes. Experts say that teens need to know traffic laws before they go on the road alone. Captain Jeremy Burkett says parents have to have critical conversations with their kids.
Intentional conversation to make sure that they understand how to change a tire, where they're going, and then what happens if an emergency. Make sure that your 18-year-old that just graduated or 19-year-old, if they're going off with a group of friends or they're going off, even if it's a chaperone trip, if they encounter an emergency, do they know to call 911? Do they actually know what to do when they're off by themselves?
Of course, it's not just the roads that are expected to be busy. A lot of boaters will be on the water as well, from area lakes and rivers to the Gulf, the Bay. The Alabama Law Enforcement Agency encourages everyone to have an experienced boater at all times and to wear a life jacket. Are you ready to turn up the heat on your creativity? Vanessa is in downtown Mobile at Muffin Jaw Designs for a hands-on glass blowing class. Take a look. A neat activity. Thank you there, Vanessa. Well, straight ahead, a new study claims to know where human teeth came from. Stick around for that story. Well, I have to say, Jen, I'm in the kitchen a lot. I don't have a broiling pan. Is this something you use?
No. Nah. I let my husband cook. I try not to.
I love that. You have a winner. There you go.
He enjoys it. I try not to mess around with it. I'll clean it up afterwards, but he doesn't use that either.
Okay.
But something to always keep in mind. I'm sure it can become useful for other things too.
There you go.
Well, let's go ahead and talk more about our forecast out there. And just a reminder, it is a great time to go ahead and download the Fox 10 weather app. That way you're staying updated with the forecast. Now we are deep diving into some of the Memorial Day forecast, the beach forecast, plus also you can track along with any of those rain chances, especially relevant when we're talking about some rain possible on Monday on Memorial Day. Well, let's take a live view outside right now down in Orange Beach. And again, just a reminder that with the rip currents out there, it's calm, it's looking beautiful, but just make sure you're being cautious. Also a reminder, our camera, unfortunately, after the storms the other day, we can't move it, but I still want to show it off just because it's beautiful. You can start to see the calm water out there. Temperatures just resting in the mid 80s, some calm winds. And so that's going to be leading to some beautiful water conditions over the next few days and getting into the weekend. Again, even though it says low, please be careful out there. We're seeing those yellow flags. Always know the name of the beach you're located on, where the closest lifeguard stand is, and pay close attention to those beach flags and their meaning. It varies state by state and beach by beach. Now, taking a look at the tropical outlook out there, things are calm and quiet. 10 days till the start of hurricane season. No new development expected in the Atlantic, the Gulf, or the Caribbean, but we're only expecting more to come our way, unfortunately. So we did go ahead and get the updated outlook from the National Hurricane Center. They came out with their outlook for the season ahead of us, and they are in agreement with Colorado State University, who also puts out a yearly outlook. Just a reminder, on average, we see 14 named storms, 7 hurricanes, with 3 of those being major. Both are calling for an above average season. But also, I want to remind folks, 2024, we saw quite a few named storms. However, the majority of those were in the Atlantic. They were a problem for the fish, and we really didn't even see many of those impacts here in the U.S. So although we start to see some of those high numbers, technology is getting better and better. We can track some of these storms out in the Atlantic, out in the Caribbean, even if they don't impact land masses, to where these numbers will get higher just because technology is getting better. So the main takeaway here, just make sure you stay updated with us and be prepared for the season ahead. I'm going to have a final look at your forecast and the calm and quiet conditions I'm tracking here locally. That's coming up in just a little bit. For right now, a live view outside on Dauphin Island. We'll be right back with 3 to know before you go.
A dad graduating from a New York university has gone viral after sprinting past security and on to the commencement stage while carrying his baby. But don't worry, he says he secured permission for the stunt in advance. Jamie Roth explains in today's Take a Look at This. Hard here at Fox 10, but that's a little too hard in my opinion. I don't think that's ever happened here. Well, here's 3 to know before you go today. Amusement parks around the country are getting ready for the busy summer season. Starting this weekend, Waterville USA and Gulf Shores will be open daily for the whole summer. The water park features over 25 water slides, a lazy river, wave pool, go-karts, bowling lanes, as well as 2 escape rooms. I've been there. It's a ton of fun. You can learn more and purchase tickets at watervilleusa.com. Well, Mobile Baykeepers want to hear from you about federal mud dumping in Mobile Bay. It's all part of an ongoing channel deepening and widening project. Mobile Baykeepers organization says the dredge sediment being pumped into the bay has already harmed seagrasses and oyster reefs. Baykeepers say they do not want to stop the deepening and widening of the ship channel. Instead, it's trying to stop the in-bay disposal of maintenance dredge soil. However, the Corps of Engineers say it's a widely accepted practice and not harmful. Again, you will have a chance to speak on the issue and ask questions. The town hall meeting is today in Fairhope from 6 until 7:30 at Fairhope United Methodist Church. Well, with the school year ending for many students in our area, the city of Gulf Shores is inviting families to a fun event on the beach. It's time once again for S'mores on the Shore. It all kicks off at 6 this evening at Gulf Place. There will be a live DJ, balloon artist, face painting, plus the Alabama Gulf Coast Zoo will be there too. S'mores packets will be provided, so don't worry about that. And you can also grab a bite to eat. The Lions Club will be selling hot dogs, chips, and drinks. So make sure you bring your blanket, chairs, and come out for S'mores on the Shore. Jen, is today Layson's last day of school?
It is her last day of school. I hate it's a Thursday though, because I would love to go to that. S'mores on the Shore. I know, just a little bit of a trek down there. But you know what? Whatever you're going to be doing for today, it is going to be great. I'm so excited. Again, as you mentioned, it's Layson's last day of school, so it's going to be beautiful out there. Here's a look at that forecast every single year since she graduated kindergarten. It's going to be our 3rd year of doing it.
Aww.
We go and we get ice cream
I
to celebrate.
love that.
Yes.
A sweet tradition.
And so a sweet little tradition. Find something to do with your kids today. Park, pool, beach, snow cones, ice cream, whatever it is. It's looking great. Sunny, dry, temperatures in the mid-80s. Over the next few days, we're going to continue to tick up with some of those temperatures. Rain chances are on the rise once we get closer towards Memorial Day. It's not a washout. We will have breaks. We'll continue to keep you updated later on here on Fox 10. And as we get throughout the weekend, just apply sunscreen and be cautious at our local beaches.
Yes, great reminders there. Thanks for joining us here on Fox 10 Midday. Happy last day of school. Yay! If it is your last day, we'll see you guys tomorrow.